On the track we go. Hello everybody, it's me, Farham. We're here with Path of Exile 2, and today we're showing off something I did because we chanced that Astromentis. I thought, using the Astromentis, let's see how quickly and easily we could adapt the build into the most basic form of attribute stacker, while keeping it capable of doing all the end content. Killing the tier 4 bosses really fast, doing the tier 4 sims, but also being able to move around the map without having to switch to Flicker Strike, which I don't like. Instead, we can move around and do mapping like this. So, this is I'm not going to say build guide. It's a bit of a showcase of the silliness of turning things into stat stackers. Let's have a look at the passive tree. Alright, the passives, and spring has definitely sprung because the sun is bright and there. But what else is bright is this passive tree and this cap. So, we've kept Sunder my enemies. We've got like 30% crit chance now, but I really didn't want to take on that avatar. Other than that, this is all the same. I'm the Thunder. In fact, it's all the same. I'm the Thunder, I'm the Blizzard. Lead me through grace. For the tree, we needed points, so we've stripped out all this start bit, and we've taken shitloads of attributes. And they are all dexterity, because dexterity gives us attack speed, and attack speed makes us move faster. This is good. Up here, we've swapped out our Against the Darkness for a dexterity and intelligence one. And we've got spaghettification. We've got this anointed for even more dexterity and even more intelligence and even more attributed. Arguably, I think blurred motion is probably better. It's around here somewhere. Gives you dexterity, attack speed, and accuracy rating. We'll get to why the accuracy rating is awesome soon. We're still running resonance to get our charge staff up. We're taking a little bit of crit. We're still running out from nothing. Grabbing these 3 nodes over here. Although, arguably, you'd probably want a from nothing running resonance for optimal greatness, but they're like 200 divines, so we're just running the one we were. We've got Eternal Youth running. Pretty good. Keeps us alive. Spectral Ward, same reason. Pretty good. We're still CI, so we've got CI. Remember, this is all dexterity. We've still got the same Megalomaniac. I was looking for one that had like self-mortification or some energy, shield, some stun resist, and blurred motion. Couldn't find one. Well, I did. It is like 90 divines, so you could find one of those to get blurred motion as well. Running a good Megalomaniac's great. We all know we want that. We get more intelligence because stats are great now. We've got Patient Barrier because Patient Barrier is great. We've got Circular Teachings for more energy shield per strength while stacking a bit of strength. This is from the Heroic Tragedy. You need Verona to make that one happen. This Verona seems to fit quite well here. We get more lightning damage and strength and more energy shield and lightning resistance, both of which we need. Big shout out to Josh for the Heroic Tragedy Jewel for this build. So awesome to be able to try one of those out that was well rolled and went into a good place, so thanks for helping with that. We're still running down here our Controlled Metamorphosis, grabbing the same nodes we were, Manifold Method, Serrated Edges, Enhanced Reflexes, and one with the River. The defenses here are really good. Grabbing Martial Artistry for that nice dexterity and accuracy rating. Again, you'll see why accuracy rating is so awesome soon. We're running loads of jewels, they're pretty well rolled, things like this. You could arguably get rid of the crit and want attack speed and things like that, but just some well-rolled emeralds, fine. Coming down here now to grab more dexterity and even more attack speed per dexterity. We might basically just want shitloads of attack speed. As long as we can get all of that, we're going to have a good time. Come down to this dex node. We're grabbing these crit nodes here. Still want a little bit of crit. Still running this under my enemies. It does help with the damage. Arguably somewhere else. But yeah, these seem like strongish nodes, and in fact I couldn't find anything that made the sheet DPS go up better, and the way we're interacting with crits for ignoring elemental resistance just feels like we should have a little bit. Coming down, we got more spaces for more jewels, so I stuck more jewels in. Grabbing the skill speed here. Skill speed is definitely very useful. Skill speed is like attack speed. Then we come up to this node here, and we grab round to Falcon Dive. I'm going to stack up some accuracy rating soon to get Tempest Flurry going really fast. That's the idea. Come down, more jewel sockets. Or jewel sockets with more well-rolled sapphires, well-rolled emeralds in it. You know the sort. We'll go over those a little bit in the gear section. And then we're grabbing Polymathy and Jack of all trades. So 10% more attributes and 2% increased damage per 5 of your lowest attribute. Get a bunch of damage from strength. We're just way loaded into dexterity for attack speed for the purposes we want to do with this build though. We're not min-maxing damage. We're just trying to clear all the content. So that's what the passive tree looks like. The result of that is loads of lightning. Let's have a look at how we've got the skill tree set up. Now, interestingly, for this skill tree, I think we can just simply run the same skills for all content. and it will just work. There's some min-maxy stuff we could do. I'll talk about that a little bit, but I'll showcase it with just the flat skills that we're going to go over now at the end. Alright, these skills. So we're running Tempest Bell with Overabundance for the flow of combat, Close Combat, Primal Armament, Elemental Focus, and Concentrate Effect. It ends up doing shitloads of lightning damage, and the increased elemental damage just turn out to be the best. Turn out to be much better than the Fizz damage runes, so we've chucked those right out, and we've taken these two instead. With Tempest Flurry, we're running Martial Tempo, because basically we want this number here to be as big as possible. 16, 17 feels controllable. Anything over 25, you just can't really control the character. I suppose you could if you got faster reactions than me, but I can't. But anyway, that's fast enough. But for that, we've got Martial Tempo, Rage, it's still our Rage support. Bullseye for more accuracy rating, that's synergizing to give even more attack speed. Well, it doesn't actually cannot be that much, but it's a little bit more attack speed to get us going just that little bit faster. We got Crescendo, because I kind of like the double lightning. I think it looks cool. And actually, I think it's worth quite a lot of DPS, because if we look at the damage per use of that fourth strike compared to a normal strike, damage per use is significantly higher. And that will mean 2/5 of our strike will be the fourth strike with the 36,000. 2/5 will be the 14,000. One will be this weird third strike flurry one that doesn't have a damage. Average damage per use 14,000. So we've got 14, 14, 14. So we're getting... that should result in this having a significant DPS increase, probably around 16%, off the top of my head. But it doesn't show on the page. But I think this is a really, really good skill. And it feels good when you're mapping, and it feels good in Sims. So I've been running it. And Overcharge to get that better magnitude of shock, right? This thing's just shocking all the time. On our auras now, this is where... because we're still running the chest piece, we're not going for a Moria Invictus and attribute stacking even more from that. We're just running a high spirit chest. Running Herald of Thunder with Longshot, Ice Spike, Glaciation, Ambush, and Lightning Mastery. If you followed the other builds, you'll recognize those skills straight away. Grim Feast at level 21. Wind Dancer, running with Wind Wave, Unbreakable, and Precision. We definitely want Precision running now. Extra accuracy is extra attack speed. Running Cast on Critical, but you could just as easily swap this out for Cast on Shock, although I think with Cast on Shock you might actually have mana issues. But anyway, Cast on Critical is fine. That's running out Eye of Winter, Voltaic Eye of Winter, of course, on level 12 with a -1 corruption. No quality on that. Voltaic Mark with quality 23 at level 7, that's to maintain mana. We want Chain, Deceleration, and Inspiration as our support gems in there. Running Combat Frenzy, this is how we're getting our power charges. So Profusion to generate additional charges, Clarity for more mana regen, Herbalism if you can fit it. I would say Clarity and Herbalism definitely optional here. You can drop those to save some spirit. On the Charge Staff, we are running Perpetual Charge, Maim, Culling Strike, Blind, and Electrocute. Seems fine. Herald of Ice giving us a little bit more damage. You see if I turn this off, actually should lose a little bit of damage, but this is kind of bugged at the moment and it doesn't show. I do this and then okay. Herald of Ice. I took off Coming Calamity. I needed the skill point back. Herald of Ice doesn't do that anymore. Herald of Ice just blows things up in maps. So you could swap it out for Ghost Dance or something if you wanted for bossing, but you don't need to. So up to you if you want to min-max. I'm lazy. I can't be bothered. Anyway, Herald of Ice, running with Cold Mastery, Coursing Current, Conduction, Magnified Effect, and Innovate. If you could get an extra skill point from somewhere, it might actually be worth popping it on Coming Calamity, because you would get probably quite a lot of damage from that. It might even be better running that than these two nodes up here. Should we have a quick live look at whether or not Coming Calamity works out as being better than these two nodes? So down to 228. If we put that on, it is not. Good. Right, so yeah, we have dropped Coming Calamity, that's fine. Keep those nodes up there. Good. Coming Calamity is a fine node, though. If you do have a spare node, it will give you a solid damage increase while running 2 Heralds at the same time. But that's basically how we're set up. This should work for both bossing and Sims. We will quickly go over the gear, and then we'll jump into some showcases with this. Just before we jump into the gear, if you did want to get min-maxy for Sims, although you really don't need to, what you can do is you can swap Concentrated Effect for Crescendo here to give Tempest Flurry significantly more damage. You take Magnified Effect out of Herald of Ice, because it's not going to work in Sims, and you pop it into Tempest Spell. And you just run Herald of Ice with 4, or in fact you can just swap Herald of Ice for like Ghost Dance or something if you want. It's up to you on that one. You could even swap it back out for Charge Infusion, but I just don't think the 6% crit is worth it when we're running this low crit. So that's the sort of in-maxi change stuff you can do. For the purposes of our test, when I go into the Sims though, I'll show you again there. I will be set up like this, so I can show you that it just works without even having to change the skill gems. Let's take a quick look at this gear then, because there's been a couple of key changes to make us into an attribute stacker. Now, you may have seen the video where a chance an Instrumentus. If you haven't, a chance an Instrumentus. Hence why we've turned this guy into an attribute stacker, because, well, we had that, so why not? We've got an Instrumentus. I would actually argue you probably don't need this. You could make up the stats elsewhere with better stats on rings, and then better resistances on boots, and you can shuffle things around and actually get this to work with a fewer attributes and a lesser stellar, but something like a high attribute neck is going to be important. High attribute rings are going to be important as well. Ignore this one. This is attribute. This is from the Ice Strike build. So the other big important piece of the build is the Pillar of the Cage God. I'd recommend that you've got fire damage somewhere for increasing the bell damage. You really do need that. We're going to do a deep dive into the bell. I'll go into it in more detail there. But you want attack speed. Attack speed seems to be best. Attack speed seems to guarantee your movement. It seems it increases the movement, and you're using Tempest Flurry for movement. Once you've got the damage to about the numbers I've just shown, everything just dies anyway. It really doesn't matter. So focus attack speed to get movement, because that will optimize your clear speeds, and that will optimize how fast you can do things. You want Pillar of the Cage God because we get area of effect for intelligence, attack speed for dex, weapon strength for weapon damage for strength. So stacking up those attributes. Don't want Hand of Wisdom in action. We get things for attributes. This is awesome. We get more attack speed. We get more flat lightning damage. Ingenuity to boost the attributes of your rings. I'm saying that running a chest like this is still pretty good. We feel really tanky. Really, really tanky. And we can run all of our auras, all of our support auras, and it just feels good. You could get a Moria Invictus, and there's plenty of builds around for that, but I think mine's going to stick with running the big spirit build, because it feels good. And some boots where you run fast and get some more attributes. I'd say the Melting Maelstrom's still pretty important. You need this when you start slamming down bells. But yeah, let's do a deeper dive into how this all affects the bell, how we maximize our bell damage, and then let's start showcasing this thing around. I'm not going to do a map with it, but you'll see in the breach how fast it moves, and you know, it moves fast. So let's do a bit of a dive into our boss killing tool and what we're actually using to ramp this thing up. It's pretty similar to Ice Strike, but I don't think I've done a deep dive into this, so we'll do it here as the question was asked specifically about how to kill bosses with a attribute stacking build. It's all about Tempest Spell, and specifically it's about what happens on the impact, the shockwave of Tempest Spell. Deals 30% more damage per elemental ailment afflicting the bell. Ignite, chill, freeze, shock, and electrocute. So we need a way to afflict all 5 of those. That becomes a little bit difficult with the attribute stacker because it's hard to get all the damage types unless you get all the damage types on your rings. So you've got options. You can get cold damage, lightning damage on rings. Well, you're not going to need the lightning damage. You're going to have that, in fact, from Tempest Flurry. But you can get some cold damage on your rings. You get fire damage there as well. You don't need much fire damage to ignite the bell, so I've opted to put fire damage rune in the staff. It's fine. Drop some attack speed. Could have probably got it on a ring. That rune will do. We just need to set the bell on fire. And for electrocute, we have got charge staff running electrocute. So that will electrocute the bell. Providing we still have charge staff up at the boss fight, it doesn't take many hits to electrocute the bell. So anyway, the idea is we need to get all of that running. Tempest Flurry itself has enough cold damage to chill and freeze, especially on the bell. It probably won't freeze the boss, but it should be able to get around to freezing the actual bell itself. And between that, we should deal enough damage to kill the boss pretty quickly. With Tempest Flurry, we're able to put these bells down really, really quick. The attack time is 0.9 seconds. We can get 2 of these down in a second, basically, which is enough to kill the boss. So we should be seeing a similar-ish kill time to the Ice Strike, but it will be a slightly more rapid but longer input rotation. But the idea is still to get every single elemental focus we can on the bell. As for the sports, it's overabundance, close combat, primal armament, elemental focus, and concentrate effect. Alright, so we've covered off how we're getting all of our single target damage, why we've got some weird runes in weird places. Let's show this thing off in a breach. And then we'll show it off in a simulacrum as well. just to show that it's still capable of doing that content. So this is funny in the breach. So we hit this, and we press our shift key, and we're an attribute stacker now, you know. Just sort of blow everything up. Yeah, that's right, She-Babe. We blow everything up, don't we? Yeah, we do. Now, I think we all know that the stat stacker can flip maps really fast, and it's all down to Tempest Flurry and the attack speed and how fast Tempest Flurry makes you move. And it's a very silly interaction. But I think a couple of people in the comments were saying that they were struggling with the boss killing, so I looked at how to resolve that. Seems sufficient to run it like this. We don't run it quite the same way as with the Ice Strike build, because we can't get quite the same top-end bell damage. I think we need to stack more stats to get the same top-end bell damage, but that's bloody expensive, so, you know. Chanced Astromentis, and let's go. What more do you need? Just a Chanced Astromentis and a staff that drops 20 times a Simulacrum. No bother. Everything else was fine. Yes, She-Babe. Got food, though. I think my cat is excited that we're going to win the breach. We can go off into the void if we want. Laser blades. Amazing. Mana is okay. You have to press a mana potion sometimes. You can run a lower Tempest Flurry than this, but damage. Feel it. And Tempest Flurry with more than about 15 attacks per second starts to feel quite funny. Before that, it's just... We can place lots of bells very quickly as well, which is quite funny. Go. Into the room. Can. Get him up. Get ready. He's gonna have a nightmare. He's having a dream. He's having a nightmare. He's the one. He is the one and only. Ain't nobody I'd rather be. Yeah, he's dead. Dead before I could sing the shitty line of that song in that shitty voice. And that's it, really. That's how the attribute stacker works. You just blast things with the bell. You have to use a couple, but you can get them out so quick that it's beyond human reaction time. It's fine. Might as well show the whole thing, so we can see all the silliness, eh? It's a tier 4 Sims. Show you some of the loot on the floor at some point. It'll be level 82. Just smash the shit out of this place. It's gonna be great. So we just start just doing this, really. Everything should just die, really. It's quite therapeutic, actually. Like, if we want to put down a bell, we can. I'm running concentrated effect on it rather than magnified effect. If you put magnified effect on it, it ends up huge. In fact, we're going to have to show off a bit of magnified bell. Put some magnified bell on. We will. Let's do it. Let's do a bit of magnified bell. So that's how you win. So let's magnify up our bell. So get that magnifying glass out. The girls can see it. And let's bounce. Ooh, now we'll turn on our laser sword as well. And this time when we put the bell down, look, huge bell. Just massive bell. Everyone's aghast at how large my bell is and wishing I wouldn't get it out in public anymore. But there we go. All belled up. We can just continually cause absolute destruction. We can also use this to travel quickly between zones. If we locate where the zone's going to be, which we can see is to our sort of southeast, and we can prepare to lightning warp through there when it's time. In the meantime, we can just zap everything. This is why I didn't play Attribute Stacker, by the way, for the entire league, because this would have absolutely ruined everything else for me. I wouldn't have wanted to do anything else. I didn't want to play anything else but the Ice Strike Monk, but I really wouldn't have been able to do anything else. So then we could just leave. So we just power through to the next level, which is a time save, which is efficient. And efficiency is everything. And we just continue to cause carnage in the Nightmare Realm. You see, our mana's actually okay, because we don't crit so often that we're not like shitting quite so many Eyes of Winter. It is annoying to stop to charge up the staff, but it's so worth it. Bosses take a little bit of chipping at, but I think it's okay. We know exactly where they're going to be, so we don't need to worry about them. In the later scary waves, I mean. What we have to do is sort of avoid the rage. We don't freeze quite as efficiently as we used to, which is a layer of defense we don't have. But the layer of defense we do have is when the rage jump, we're no longer where they're jumping at, unless I start going back and forwards in a silly direction. Power up that charge that staff. Consider getting some bell out just for the hell of it. Just bell it up. Get your bell out for the hell of it. Oh yeah, we can just zip forward like, vroom, like a bullet train. I think this might end up being my fastest sim ever. Cause them to spawn from every single mirror, because now we can literally get to every single mirror and cause them just to constantly be spawning from every spawn location rather than only spawning at one end of the sim. You see a boss, we can just put down a bell and that will definitely deal with the problem. We just zip off, grab this, and we just start doing our thing. Cover the entire map in lightning blades. Aggressively slap our bell. Lightning rates beat our bell so fast it sets on fire. Is literally what we're doing. That burning. Oh, it's not actually burning. Doing enough fire damage. Oh, there it is. There's the burn. Something's out on fire. I definitely saw ash. Where it starts to get a bit real. Put down the bell though. You always have a bell in the pocket. Good bell work there. On to the next area. Oh, don't forget oh god, it got stuck on a wall. I am you, says strange voice. But not in that accent. You should say it in that accent. It'd be much funnier. Oh, I am you, mate. I'm your mate. Your little delirium mate lives in your ear. Danger zone. Say that properly. Can't do the archer voice. Just practice. Bell for bosses, definitely get the bell for the bosses. Or we could definitely, I think the fast, you need about 1300 dex to go max speed, 30.3 attacks per second. Anything more than that and you lose DPS. The server actually can't calculate more than one attack every 33 milliseconds. And I guess if you had latency, it could get worse. If you had any latency, it might get. I don't know if it get affected by that, but either way, don't think it would. Doesn't matter. Getting to that much dexterity is really, really expensive. Do you need it when you can do tier 4 sims like this with this build? Need it? You can use Ice Strike instead of Tempest Flurry as well. It has a really, really similar, honestly, a pretty similar effect. You see the boss's health bars appear for a second, it's scary. Well, definitely not as strong as the Ice Strike variant, but strong enough. Strong enough when set up like this. It does exactly what we need it to do. It gets job done. Race car time. Up on the track we go. All those invincibility guys. Super scared of those guys. I don't think it's actually efficient to go around like that when we're in these bigger areas. It is in the smaller areas. Don't trigger all the portals, but not here, I don't think. There we go, guys. So you can see, it was a level 82 area. We have level 84s from the bosses, from the ones that actually... Oh, that should ID that. Candy. +4, damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Why are you not +5? What about this one? Is this one a +5 as well? This one plus piece of crap? Anyway, that's the build, guys. You can quite easily convert your Ice Strike to a attribute stacker. And it's quite funny. I hope you enjoyed that one, and I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good one.